Thank you, Bernie, and good morning. And as I say, my name is Kevin O'Driscoll. I'm associated with Carrigaline Allotments now for the last 2 years, and we're much smaller in scale than Churchfield. There's only something about originally about 20 flats, and we have 10 occupied at the moment, and so we reduced those down further down to about 15, and there's 5. We have we have no waiting list. We have vacancies. So originally, my path towards allotments and everything else is a kind of a circle. It's gone round in a circle, I suppose. Really, I've always had an interest in King's horticulture, gardened all my long years, and I always had a plot in the garden, and I suppose over the years then I would see that garden being taken back for the play area for kids or whatever. So you surrender your garden to your family. So there was always an inbuilt frustration in me that I needed more ground to work on and express myself, I suppose, really, in that regard. And I also have always had an interest in improving my knowledge in gardening and vegetable growing or whatever. So part of the process when I knew I was coming up to an early retirement was that I attended an RHS General Cert in Horticulture in Northern Stefan Nefa, which is a 2-year course, and succeeded in passing the exams for that, which is, I say, a daunting task for someone who hadn't sat down doing an exam for nearly 25 years. But anyway, we got there, and I suppose it gave me confidence and everything else. I wouldn't say that I know everything. You're always learning in this game. You constantly learn from other people that you meet. And I suppose through that association, I was approached by a member of the class who had a personal friend who wanted to start off in allotments but didn't want to get her hands dirty, if you pardon the pun. She had her own little business and had the land and wanted to expand and use that area, some of her land, to promote allotments. So I agreed to help out, and we got, say, over 1.5 acres ploughed and tilled and laid out about 2 years ago, and people gradually drifted in and took up their plots. Our plot sizes are about 20 feet by 60 feet, and we have there's good fertile land, and also on the farm the person who has the farm is very interested in, has about 10 to 15 horses, so we have plenty of horse manure to spread on the land and fertilise it and keep the soil fertile. On the plots at the moment, some of them have actually built polytunnels, so actually they've gone into a different concept of growing and extended their growing season. So that has worked out very successfully for people. Also, we have guys who swear by the raised beds and have scaffold planks, and one guy has them in real rigid rows and everything else, and as one of the lads said, he said it looks like more like coffins than beds, but it works for him and he's delighted with it. But as I say, everyone approaches it from a different perspective, and you can learn from it. And again, years ago, I suppose, we were talking about allotments, and allotments is the whole concept is new to Ireland, I suppose. Really, it has been long established in England and other places in Europe. So there was always the concept of the old retired man with the cloth cap and bending over and stooped over doing his bits and pieces on the plot. But what we find now is that a lot of younger people are coming in, and mothers with their children and everything else. So there's a wide range of people, and it's been shown, you know, that certainly is a good thing. Needless to say, I wouldn't, you know, the other reasons that you're growing is that you can't beat the taste and flavour of your own food. Full stop. That's where it starts and finishes to me. And you'll get your failures, you'll have your battle with your slugs and your pests, and maybe a few dogs and people coming in and, you know, bits and pieces like that. But by and large, I think it's a wonderful recipe for life, for living, and I cannot recommend it highly. The only other thing I was going to say was something in relation to kind of, without lecturing, was basic principles in relation to your plots and everything else. And I think maybe the first and foremost would be to feed the soil, not the plants. And regular, for a healthy soil, you need plenty of humus, and you'll have the earthworms, the bacteria, the fungi, and all the other living organisms. You have to bring them into the soil. So, I mean, what you really need to do is mulch, bring in your organic matter, plenty of it, and maybe dig less. I think you have a number of different theories and different people out there who have the no-dig policy, not ever disturbing the soil, but by putting mulch and compost on top of it, and even the earthworms take the goodness down into the soil and tilling it as little as possible. Sounds good if you have a bad back. So I think you know, there are possibilities to investigate and explore these different avenues. And with all the information that's out there through different groups, the GAY group, even the internet and all the books that you have available, I think people should approach it with an open mind and experiment. And certainly that's what I am doing at the moment. I am certainly changing and adapting to different circumstances and trying to reduce the amount of work that you'd have to do. I mean, I was traditionally dig every winter and turn over the soil and everything else, and you're catching up. I think you're just spreading the weeds, really, or anything else, and weed seed. So look into that. I think other things, aim to work with nature. Just observe what nature is doing and try and imitate as much as possible what it has to show you. Just to finish, and I suppose the basic one would be, in any plot, you don't want to build up pests and diseases in your plot. So the importance of rotation of your crops in an orderly way, whether you do a 3-year, 4-year, 5-year, even 6-year rotation, they're all there, information's up there. See what works for you, see what plots or vegetables you want to grow, and plan it accordingly. I mean, some vegetables, potatoes, might take up quite a lot of space. Maybe you abandon that and put something else in there. So it's a bit of planning, a bit of checking out which route you want to go. But I think you know, there's nothing better than getting down and dirty and getting in there to do it. So, and as I say, we've a perfect day today, probably the best day we've had this week, I suppose, really, for gardening. And let's hope that the season ahead will be good for us, and a bit of heat comes into the weather. So that's it, my little piece. I hope it means some information and some help, and if you want to have a chat later with me, I'm always willing to help. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Colin.